Hello, thank you for joining me. My name is Dee. You can call me Decaf. My channel is Decaf Silver because my last name is Coffee, like you drink, but spelled with an EY. Today we're going to learn how to make cages for found objects. If you're like me, you like to hunt all the crystals and all the pretty stones and the rocks that are shaped like hearts. All the good stuff. Anyway, some of the tools you're going to need that's going to make your life easier. Some of these. What do we got? All right. If you don't have the double action pliers, I'm terribly sorry. It will make your life much easier. You can do it with others, such as my trusty dusty, and they are dusty, 7-year-old bent pliers, bent nose pliers. I got these at Harbor Freight. They're inexpensive, so if you need to, go get those. Xerons, those help as... Sorry about that. You all right? Did I hit you in the head? Sorry. Okay. Let me put these down because my hand's a little, all right, full. These are flush cutters. Again, going to make your life much easier. We are working with 14 gauge wire. Any wire that you have will work. You're just going to have to adjust the drilling to fit your wire, okay? Also, one of these, because you don't want to mar the metal and copper is so soft and easy to mar, you want to get some of these. And an assortment of files. They're going to be very helpful. Absolutely. We are going to build some cages like this. This is the first one that I will walk you through how to do. Once you learn how to do this one, which has the feet on it, can you see the feet? There you go. It'll be easier to make some that don't. I even have jump rings on top and bottom. Bells, excuse me, not jump rings. Jump rings tend to be open. The bell is not, okay? We don't need it open. Again, once you learn how to make that first one, you'll be able to adjust it to make different kinds of cages, different sizes. I'm really excited for us to get started with this, but you're going to need 14 gauge copper wire. You're going to need 20 gauge sheet in order to make the top and the bottom. These are 20. Now, you can get 1-inch discs already cut. I'm thinking it's Cool Tools has them pre-cut. I don't have a disc cutter, so I have to saw them or use my shears. And you're going to need some locking tweezers, a tripod, and torch. So I much prefer this one. It broke on me the third day I had it. This was a new one a couple months ago. I cannot get it to light or stay lit once I light it with a match. It won't stay lit. The adjustment's off. So whatever torch you have, even this monster of a plumber's torch will work, okay? Definitely gonna need a solder station, all right? I think that's it. I think that's all I needed to say, other than, you know, don't hug your torch if it's still hot. Mine's not, okay? And Rosie is insisting on saying hi. So, Miss Nosy Rosie, no, thank you. Say goodbye. Say we'll see you in the show. Thanks. Okay, let's see how this goes. Today we're going to be working on cages for found objects. And I want to show you how to measure for your found object, okay? So, for the penny, I want the cage to go along the outside. Along the outside. And yes, my pennies are in the 70s, therefore I know that they're solderable, okay? All copper. And I want to do this. I want to set this one. So, the wires are going to go around the outside of the base and the top. And I'll show you how to do that in a moment. And we're going to be making a cage for this faceted quartz crystal, okay? This is thinner, and this is kind of a big cage for that. We are going to have the wires come up through the base, so we have to drill here, okay? And I'm going to drill it before I cut it out. I hope that makes sense. So what do I need to do? I need to use this and center punch where I want the drill bit to catch. So give me just a moment. I'll be right back. Hold on just a moment. I gotta go around the circle where I need to drill. Ooh, and of course it jumped. What in the world? So, you know, these center punches, you either get a good one or you don't. And this one wants to work some, and sometimes it doesn't. It won't snap, it just skips. So when you get them like that, just sharpen the end, the point, to where if you're putting pressure on it, it will leave a divot for your drill bit to set. Oof. I'm only going to do one so it doesn't take as much time. Okay, so, and this is the one I did. We'll be able to see. I need to put this back. Give me just a moment. And we're going to drill these. I got to remember what I do with my drill bit. And does anybody else have a junk drawer like this? I call it a junk drawer because it's my catch-all. And I know my drill's in here, or the second part is. Give me just a minute. I will find it. Heavens help us, right? Maybe not. It may be in my drill bit drawer. It is in my drill bit drawer. Go figure, right? Okay. So I'll move this to the side. Going to drill those, so I'll be right back. Maybe. Okay, last I left you, we needed to drill out our 8 holes. I went ahead and stamped the maker's mark on the back side of the top and the bottom, because you see here where this has gotten scratched up. I'm going to put that on the underneath. This better on top. Oh, and I glued them together once I got this one taken care of for my holes. Glued them together and drilled through these. Unfortunately, I also broke a drill bit. Yay. Oh well. So after we get these drilled, and hold on a second, I do want to get a drill bit to show you something. All right. So you can get a larger drill bit after you've drilled through and go by hand like that. It will take off the burrs that are in the hole. Okay. I'm not really worried about it here. The back plate, we want to make it a seat, sort of. So, for the head pins with the ball end, if you don't know how to make a head pin, I will make a short video for that and put it up with the other videos for you as a reference. So, but I went ahead and made these head pins. This is the bottom plate. I'm going to go ahead and stick these in. I'm going to get all 8 of the spokes in. Sometimes they go in easy, sometimes they do not. So hopefully, fingers crossed, they will. And then I will show you how to solder these. I will most likely get a little bit of assistance so I can pay attention to what I'm doing and not worry about the telephone, hopefully. And sometimes if you have trouble getting the head pins to go in, which I'm using copper Copper wire is so soft once it's been annealed, and making head pins definitely anneals it. I did not work hard in them. I just didn't. It'll happen here shortly. I will get to that here in a minute. So, okay, we got all 8 in here, and I'm going to stop the video and reposition us over at the soldering table. All right, give me just a moment so I can find the off button. Okay, once we've got the pieces drilled, we're going to make some head pins with the ball end. Hold on, I'll show you another one. Ooh. Yeah, this is by hand here. Head pin. And we're getting ready to solder, so we're going to stick them through there. All right? Well, I can't do it holding the phone. Hold on. Okay, going to reposition this just a moment. We have 2 options here. And first off, I want to show you that I am back into a plumber's torch because my handy dandy one that goes off my Coleman butane, I absolutely love this. Unfortunately, it's broken. So I can't get it to light, and the adjustment is broken, so it doesn't stay lit very long. We have 2 options here. And let me explain. So I use copper solder a lot. A lot of folks are concerned when they have multiple solder seams to do that the copper solder won't hold up. We've learned with trial and error, of course, that when we have multiple seams, we need to use hard solder. Next, we need to use medium solder. Last seam, we need to use easy solder, or we can. And I am of the study that I prefer to use hard solder when I am using silver solder because it matches my colors better. Whether it is fine silver or whether it is sterling silver, it just matches better. Plus, with the solder, every time that you bring it up to temperature, it now has to go a little bit more. A little bit past that in order to get it to flow again. So you can get multiple solders in just the one. You don't have to go from hard to easy. Now with copper, there is no hard, medium, easy. It's pretty much get it up to temp, it's going to flow, and you got nothing else, right? So with the plumber's torch, it has such a wide flame. I often overheat my solder, overheat my copper before it'll flow, and it gives me the rustic look. There's tons of things that I can use to bring that back down, but I'm not going to waste that texture. I actually like it. I like rustic. However, you can use silver solder on copper. You just have to be peculiar with it, or particular, I think that's the word, particular with it, because it will show. You can use used pickle with a piece of steel, like hang it from a steel wire in used pickle, and it will plate it, copper plate that silver solder. It won't last though, okay? It's just a plating. That's it. So learn to use minimum amounts of solder or use the copper solder, okay? All right. And I think we're ready to go. Copper gets dirty really fast. So for copper, I use this Handy Flux. Ooh, yeah. I've had it for many years. I don't know if you can see it. We're upside down here, backwards. Anyway, Handy Flux. I put it in a jar, which is funny because this is my Holy Hydration empty container. See that? Handy Flux. Since my lid is broken on the other. Anyway, copper gets very dirty very fast, oxidation, when you're using a torch on it, right? So I am going to paint this with the flux, And yes, my pliers, tweezers are going to stick to it. So I'm sorry that it went over, but it did. I'm going to use the torch and try to point it this way, away from the camera. It doesn't like to overheat, and it will overheat, so I'm going to try to get in and get out, okay? So I'm using the copper solder. Going to get in and get out. We want to make sure these are all seated the best we can before we get started. And I pick solder, just stick solder. It doesn't take as long for the wires to heat as it does for the back plate. The back plate is a 20 gauge. The wires are 14 square. Now we're coming up here. Ooh, that's a lot. Okay. I don't need all of you. Oi, tons and tons and tons of solder. So now I want to get a pick and see if I cannot manipulate that. Now, so you saw how dirty, how quickly that got dirty, right? You can absolutely do this, and it's very forgiving with a plumber's torch. I keep losing the sweet spot on it. Oh boy. Well, I've got 3 places that need more flux in order to get that to flow. You see how dark and textured this is getting? That's the solder that's getting textured. And this pick that I've got in my hot little hand is garbage. Let me see if I can find my wooden handled pick. Well, maybe not. I'll have to use something else. Almost lost it there. Careful, careful. So, copper is very, very, very forgiving. If I try to do this in sterling, we would, sorry for yelling, we would have a complete melted mess, right? So I'm going to quench this, and then we will get a look at it, okay? Maybe, because I got it stuck. Okay. I did go ahead and rinse those off. They're quenched as well. So, I am going to go scrub this with my brush, and then stick it in the pickle. I'll be right back. Well, let's see. Hi. Alright, this is us after coming out of the pickle, and you see how bendable those are, which is going to be good because we have to fix these together, okay? And then we get to solder. So, but for now, and for next time, I need to remember to notch put notches in things so that I know where to start to try to line these up, you know? I think that may be it. Maybe not. Okay, apparently this isn't happening while I'm standing, so give me just a second. Okay, let's give this a go. Hopefully I'm not blocking the light. Try to get some light here. Hopefully that's all right. We need to get this piece on the top of these, and those are not wanting to stand straight up, are they? So let's see what we can do about straightening them. These double action pliers, I absolutely love them. Thank you, Elaine. Alrighty. Maybe. I'm looking to see, these two are the closest ones that I'm seeing. Where? Maybe these two here? Oh, we're getting close. So, two things could happen. You could solder that, design the top plate without any holes in it. I actually was hoping to have mine go through, so give me just a minute to try to line it up. Sometimes it takes a little bit. Apparently I don't talk while I'm concentrating, so let me work on this and I'll be right back. All right, I finally got it lined up. This is what we're looking at. I did want those sticking out. I'll show you in a minute why, but I'm going to flip it over again once I get these pretty much as far as I'm wanting them. And I'm going to run solder down through this way, not on top, okay? Because this is going to be in the inside. It's not going to show as much as that. Although this is going to be on the inside and I can't clean it up as well as I can on the outside. So let's rearrange that. I changed my mind on the fly. Okay. And I want to make it where you can actually see, hopefully, what's going on. Okay, so again, coming in with the Handy Flux, and I am going to use copper solder again, and I will flood those areas. Hopefully we don't spin out of where you can see. Oh, okay, here we go. We're just going to drop a dab of solder there. come in and try to get this side to flow, and then we'll work on the other side. There we go. Ooh. Good, good, good. Give that a moment. Make sure that I'm not heated there. Going to put it in the pickle. Well, my goodness. I don't know why. I thought that we were in focus. Sorry about the bouncing camera. All right. I'm going to slide this back here a little bit. Alrighty. Also, got just a little bit of solder left. And I am going to throw some of that up in there. So I need to cut some so you'll hear a little snip, snip, once I find my cutters. Maybe. Okay. So you notice that I didn't cut off the spikes yet, okay? From the cage spikes, or whatever you want to call them. I wanted there to be enough for when I'm done soldering to be able to cut it then. Yeah, I think that's probably way enough solder. If not, I'll get some more. This is getting ready to hop about. Let me find a pick. Here we go. This is the bell that we're putting on. I know you can see the flux bubbling. I was hoping it would help it kind of glue it in place. Ooh. And then here we go. You notice the color is getting very, very dark. There we are. And we flowed. I totally forgot to say anything about the wires I had sticking up here so that the solder wouldn't get a hold of these balls. Those are decorative. I will cut those off in a little bit. So anyway, I'll see you shortly. Maybe. And how do you turn it on? Okay, after this had come out of the pickle pot, I took the wires off that made it look like it had little ears that were protecting one of my design elements, which is the 2 copper balls. I went ahead and snipped off the top bars. Now I need to file them. Sorry about the light. It's kind of weird and wonky here. Hey, a little bit better. All right, so I'm going to file this and then stick it in the tumbler, and I'll throw it on the floor first. I'll get back with you just shortly. Okay, this cage has made it through the pickle and got filed down, then went through the tumbler. It then got a bath of patina. So now we're going to work on removing some of the patina and adding this wax. It's a crystalline. It's by Renaissance. Microcrystalline wax polish. It helps the patina stay a little longer, especially if someone's a fidgeter like I am. Yeah. So we're going to do that and let it dry. So currently I'm looking for, I have a little scrubby. And where is it? I'm going to try not to sing because that's usually my go-to when I can't find what I'm looking for. Again, trying not to. Of course, I cannot readily find it. Of course. Just a moment, please. Ah, found it. All right, so now you'll understand what I mean by a little scrubby. Ta-da! With the dog hair. Little scrubby. Alright, so we're going to work on buffing some of that back to show. Can you see that, the difference? Oh, I just realized I knocked y'all around. I've got the camera set up attached to the back side of my bench pin. So, do you see the natural texture that I got from drilling, I want to say pilot holes to line these up? So we'll just do a little bit. And you want to keep the direction of the scrubby going in the same way, or you'll have a gazillion different scratches that you're not happy with, okay? After the sealant, the wax sealant, I will show you how to get the stone on the inside of the cage, okay? This is because I dropped it yesterday. Oh, and I meant to tell you, the bell is definitely different, a different design. When I dropped this yesterday, I busted the bell. It looked horrible. I couldn't get it back in shape because of this decorative accent. So I snipped it off, filed it down, and put on a different one. So there was a lot that happened. And yes, I did say yesterday, I wasn't feeling so smooth and had to take a Benadryl, and it knocked me on my katukas. And woke up with what I call 3 sheets to the wind, Benadryl hangover, you know? Those need to look like they're worn a little bit, because what happens when the feet sit on a shelf or what have you? It will wear them down, right? It helps it have the look of it being antique. So naturally, around where the wires would come in to the top and the bottom, it's going to stay darker because we can't really get up there with our fingers, which makes sense, right? To rub off the patina. I am going to be applying this with my finger. If you're sensitive to chemicals, you may want to wear gloves. So, and the thinner the layer, the better. So that little bit's going to go a long way. Going to go a long way. I am trying not to shake the camera, but you know. So as I start to buff this back, the other will start to dry. And this is all you have to do. You can use a soft cloth to buff that. You definitely do not want to leave it. Can you see where it is a bit hazy? I'm trying to cover it with my hands so you can actually see where it's a little bit hazy. You don't want to leave that on there. What if your customer is allergic? You know, so you need to buff that off. And it needs to set, I would say, at least 72 hours before you send it out the door. Hello, we are going to be setting this. The other video ending won't upload, so I'm going to make you a new one, okay? So let me show you how we're going to set this. The magic is about to happen. Hold on. I've moved the camera hoping that we can get a little bit better view of how the magic happens here, and I'm going to try to keep my chubby little hands out of the way. We're going to come down on top instead of on the side. I'm going to pick a side. Pick a side, pick a side. Okay, I see one that's sort of dented here. Oh, sorry. Do you see this? It's a little dented. We're going to use it and get this open. Give me just a moment. I want to apologize. For all the times that I'm having to stop the video. It's because I'm having trouble getting things uploaded. But use your Xeron flat nose pliers. Set it in there. Oh, I gotta move this so it doesn't fall over. And then open them. Oops. Hopefully you were able to see that. Let's see. We're gonna continue to use our Xerons. And that honestly should be large enough to get our stone in. Ta-da! We now have a caged found object. And now we're going to gently put these back where we found them, right? Whoop, sorry, shaking the phone. All right, just a moment. Trying to do this from above so that you can see and hopefully keep it from rolling around. I don't know. I'm gonna see if I can't find something to help it not roll. My double action jaw pliers. Oy. I'm gonna use the smaller ones to come in here and try to straighten that out. Okay, we are set. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed learning how to make cages for found objects. If you have any questions, please let me know. I sure enjoy doing these videos. Thank you.